Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Travel God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a late Friday night video. Video number 2. Video number 2 on your 2 for Friday, December the 26th, 2025. Or if you're watching later, it is now December the 27th, 2025. Thank you all once again for watching right here, again, on the main channel, Killer of Demons 66. I hate the snow. Not. And make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there in my pants. You don't like me saying that? Too fucking mad. But subscribe to my channels, all down there in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos on my respective channels from the past, the present, and the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments. You know where you're gonna go. To that evil, dark shadow realm where Satan, Ozzy, Krampus, and pretty much everybody down there in the 6,669th level of hell will eat your soul. So, don't do it. You want to do it? Go do it on your dumb channel. Or somebody else's channel. Can't take the heat? Get out. That's that. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap that bell to turn on all notifications. You don't miss the next one, because if you do, well, too bad for you, because you are SOL. You know what that means. And if you don't, too bad. And for our brand new people, if you've never seen my channel before, you're here for the first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. Sit back, relax. Well, by the way, sit back, relax. After you know, I messed up my own theme song, and it is what it is. But, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. It's late. Sit back, relax, grab that cold one, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. Well, you don't, too bad. Too fucking bad, bitches. And that, as they say, is that. Alright, it's late, ladies and gentlemen. It's late Friday night, early Saturday morning, final weekend of 2025. Let's get it. We're 4 days away from this video. We're about 4 days and a lot of hours away from dropping that stinky ball, or the sphere, and getting rid of this horrible year of 2025, and we begin another year. We begin pretty much the second half of The Price is Right. The second half of the 2020s. We saw 2026. And we'll see what happens in the new year. New beginnings, clean slate for some people. And we'll see how everything goes as we pretty much hit the new year on late Wednesday night into pretty much Thursday. So that's that. But hope you had a great day. Not so great here in the Northeast. It's snowing like crazy on and off. Well, actually now it's kind of ramping up again. It did snow around 6 o'clock and then kind of stopped for a little bit. Now got a second leg of it. So got a few more hours to go before it actually shuts down. But I looked outside my window, my door, and it's piling up. So they said 4 to 8 inches. I think we just about got about that. So see how much more are we going to get in the next 5 to 6 hours by the time I get up tomorrow morning. And then shovel the hell out of it. Now I'm not shoveling the entire house. I'm just shoveling my walkway, my pretty much my porch, and right around my gate. That's it. So I'm gonna let the rest of it melt. Some of it might melt by Monday. It's supposed to be 52 and drop Monday. Then it's gonna freeze up, and then not gonna get much sunshine this week, and gonna be like in the 20s and 30s. Ugh. So winter is officially gonna be starting its first week next week and going into pretty much the unofficial first weekend of January 2026, and not looking good for January and maybe February. So, you think you're gonna put that ice melt away? Ha! Ha! You know, it is what it is. So, gotta deal with it. If you live in my neck of the woods, in the Northeast, even that shithole in Canada, and even in Alaska, where pretty much it's dark. 24 hours a day, it's dark. But when it's summertime, you get 24 hours of daylight, so you can go out to the club in Alaska, and you're coming home in sunshine. And warm weather, maybe, I don't know. I've never been to Alaska, so I don't know, so I'm just saying, hypothetically. But, it is what it is, and that's pretty much it. But I hope you had a good Friday, and I hope a good weekend. And, that's pretty much it. And, if I haven't said it before, I'll say it again. Merry Christmas. Hope you got what you wanted. I didn't get too much, but I do have some things on layaway that I'm going to be getting, hopefully, in the new year. And, got my money in here. Paycheck as well. So, I'm going to be going to the bank after the new year because I'm a little bit busy early next week, and pretty much the bank is closed on New Year's Eve, so I can't go until after the new year. So I'll put that in my bank account so I can get more stuff later on, pay my bills. And I also got new boots from the old woman over there, the missus, the wife, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. I don't have them right now, they're in the other room, but I got all that, and that's it. I got more to come, so, and then, pretty much after the new year, I'm going to be doing getting some more band merchandise. I'm going to get some other stuff, hopefully, down the line, as we get into 2026, some more clothes, new computer in, hopefully, a few months. This computer is pretty much almost about to go, but I can still use it, but eventually, I have to get a new laptop, a new PC with Windows 11, so, and it's compatible with my fiber internet, so, but I have a few in mind. I just gotta put the order in, but it is what it is. But anyway, that's coming next year, so I have a lot of time, but if you didn't get a lot for your Christmas, it's the thought that counts, and, I got the missus some perfume, took her out, I'm going to be taking her out when, I was going to take her out this weekend, but thanks to the snow, that ain't happening. That sucks. So I have to do it maybe after the new year, so. But we had a nice meal tonight, and, tonight, really. We kind of had leftovers tonight, but that's that. But anyway, now we're on the road to New Year's Eve, where we drop that sphere, and then we start fresh. On Thursday at midnight begins the beginning of a new year, new beginnings, January 2026. And before you know it, before you blink, it'll be Easter. So Easter starts early this year. It's like right after Palm Sunday. So I think it's April the 7th, I believe. I could be wrong on the date, but it comes early this year, not late like this past year. This year, really. But next year will be here early, like pretty much the first weekend of April. And then, we're talking about Labor Day, and then next thing we know, it's Christmas again, and then we'll hit level 50. Which is pretty much, if you played video games, if you get to level 50, that's pretty damn good. If you get there in the early start of the game, that's even better. But get to level 50 by near the end game, that's kind of like, depending on what game you play. But level 50 is pretty good. But yeah, I'll be hitting level 50 second, and then pretty much starting the second half of The Price is Right. The second half of my life, going into January 2027. And after that, let's see what happens with that. I do plan to move. I don't know when, but I keep thinking about it, but I don't know when. I have most of my stuff in storage, so I just gotta start putting more stuff next year. And I think I would say in about the next 2, maybe at most the next 5 years, probably be starting to bring my stuff down to where I'm gonna go. Will it be Florida? Will it be California? Will it be Timbuktu? Puerto Rico? Who knows? You're still gonna watch, but and you're still gonna be obsessed with me when I leave. Too bad, but that's all I gotta say about that. All right, enough about that bull funky for 11 minutes because you clipped it anyway. That's all you can do. Because you got nothing else you can do on your garbage douchebag channel. Make up lies about what I got from who and this and that. But thank you for watching, asshole. Thank you for downloading, asshole. I'm saying, without certain people, you'd be nothing. But that's that. Alright, on this late Friday night, it is time. Time to turn off your garbage streams and garbage whatever. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, if you still want to listen to wrestling talk, it is time for your late and, well, not late and out of date, but it is your late night. Not late night, but it's late night. WWE Smackdown review, as we call it, Weltdown. Alright, we are taped again from the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan, like we were for Raw. Remember how last Friday we were, SmackDown was, we saw the taped SmackDown from Raw on last Monday. So, this week, last Friday, they taped SmackDown and Raw. We saw the Raw version this week, and then now we saw SmackDown. So, even though they were in Baltimore, Maryland tonight, we could have done a live show. Just saying. But anyway, so, once again from the Van Andel Arena, Grand Rapids, Michigan, WWE SmackDown, the final 2-hour show. As next week, we start the new year pretty much with a Gilmore Cutter size bang 3-hour show. And then we got the 1-year anniversary on Netflix from the Barclays Center in my neck of the woods, Brooklyn, New York, on January the 5th. So a week from Monday, we got that. And Monday is the final Raw of the year, final NXT of the year. That's taped. And AEW is live for New Year's Smash from 8 to 10. And then, we start the new year, January 1st, with a pretty much taped TNA Ring of Honor. And then we start fresh, new episodes, January the 2nd. And pretty much Raw and SmackDown after January the 5th is going to be taped. Because it's going overseas for Bash in Berlin, January the 9th. And then going to England. We'll be in Germany, then be in England, Scotland. And then eventually back in the States for like a little bit. With Saturday Night's Main Event going to Montreal. And then back overseas we go pretty much January the 26th. And then January the 30th is a tape show from Saudi Arabia where Royal Rumble will be. And then February the 2nd, Raw in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of taped shows coming your way pretty much after next week. So we got that. But the only live shows in the States will be NXT and AEW. And also the live edition of TNA on AMC coming your way January the 15th on that great station of AMC. And Ring of Honor will just be Ring of Honor. I don't know where Ring of Honor would be at. Well, besides on Honor Club, because they don't have a TV deal. Sucks for them. So that's that. So lots of stuff coming your way as we go into the new year, and I'll be pretty much here throughout 2026, at least to the first part of it. But we shall see what happens with that. Anything changes, I'll let you guys know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our commentary team, as it was on last week on Smackdown, Michael Cole and Cody Slave. Alright, we're getting ready for the Smackdown, or pretty much the live Raw on Monday, and we are rolling along to next week's Smackdown, and eventually the 1-year anniversary on Netflix, then Saturday's main event, and the Royal Rumble will be commencing soon. Alright, so let's get into the show, which wasn't that bad for a tape show. We had a United States title match, very good match. I don't know why it was on a tape show, but still, we get that. Alright, so we open up with a recap of Babucho, Drew McIntyre, and the Unified Champion, Cody! MDK, Cody, you bitch! No! We saw that with Cody getting on the bad side of Nicholas Aldis after we saw him invade and pretty much trespass on Drew McIntyre's property. We had that fight, and then Nick Aldis telling Cody, you can't touch Drew, because he's going to make a public apology to Dan Engler, the referee. And then, after he does that, you still can't touch him. And then Cody's like, oh, what? Nick is like, well, if you touch him, I will strip you of the WWE title, or the Unified title. And then Cody's like, well, I don't work for you, I work for the fans, and you pretty much work for me. So we got that. We're gonna hear from Cody pretty much right now, and we're gonna see Drew later. So anyway, we open the show after that property with Cody and boring us for another 20 minutes with his missionary style promo. But he runs into Nick Aldis, says, and asks if Drew McIntyre has shown up to the arena yet. Nick says no, but he's on his way. Then he says that Drew has signed the contract for their match for the Unified title, with a stipulation, mind you. We don't know what that is yet. So Nick's like, once he publicly apologizes and pays the fine, you can't lay until he signs it and apologizes to Dan Engler. Pretty much before that, you can't lay a finger on him or you're going to be stripped of the title. So Cody understands, says, well, tell me when he shows up. Nick agrees. And then he bumps into the Miz, who wants nothing to do with that guy. We can't say his name yet, but I think we all know who it is. Nick Aldis accuses him of being a grumpy Grinch. And then he says, well, that guy is in the ring, and his name is Joe Hendry. Say his name, and he appears. I believe him below every Joe Hendry. So he's in the ring to do a concert. He has some nice, sexy dancing elves, and then he has Akira Tozawa and Otis dressed in Santa Claus. Well, in Santa Claus outfits. Then he has a bunny. I think we know who the bunny is. If you think it's Adam Rose, I don't think so. Or Justin Gabriel. Remember that shit? That was funny. It was like 6 million freaking people as the bunny with Adam Rose. Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. Braun Strowman was a rosebud. Alexa Bliss, I believe, was a rosebud at the time. Who else? Summer Rae, I think. There's a couple of people. Elijah. A few people that were rosebuds actually became WWE superstars. And now half of them are gone. Maybe I think all of them are gone. That sucks. But, Adam Rose was a character, pretty much. But, his rosebuds, I think, got off easy. Adam Rose never won a title. He was just like, he was like Fandango. He was just like a nostalgia act, and it kind of got boring after a while. And they just released him. And then the Rosebuds, besides Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, Summer Rae, they did decently. Then the others kind of flaked out. I think one of them was Christy Hemme at one point. I might be wrong on that, but I forget. Who cares at this point? So anyway, Joe Hendry and company, they're in the ring, and Joe does his version of Jingle Bells. Basically talking about the size of the Miz's balls, testicles. Mentions how he can't beat Carmelo Hayes, gets thrown out of the locker room a lot, and can't do well in Hollywood. Kind of boring song. So then the Miz comes out, pissed, and complains and bitches and complains and bitches and complains. And then we get more of the song. And then he gets to the ring. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Yeah, pretty much that ain't gonna work anymore, Miz. This ain't like 10 years ago when you were the champ. But anyway. So Nick Aldis comes out and says, well, Miz, you and Joe Hendry are gonna have a match, but it's gonna be since it's the time of the season, it's the time of the season for whatever that song is. And whoever sings it, because I don't remember. Anyway, so Nick Aldis makes a Miracle on 34th Street fight. Right now. Alright, so that first segment with Cody, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Joe Hendry's concert, 2.25 out of 5 stars. It was just boring. And this freaking hardcore match wasn't that hardcore. It was kind of boring. So we had we had a table with cookies on it. We had Christmas trees, assorted weapons, stuff like that. Alright, so it's also with Joe Hendry shouldering the Miz down to start, grabs a delayed suplex, and he gets a big reception out of that for a basic suplex. Okay. I was like, if I was in the crowd and they're cheering like, it's a basic suplex! What are you cheering for? Morons, fucking marks. I want to cheer for an impressive move, and I'm like, holy shit, impressive. That's what I want to cheer for. Not some basic fucking suplex. From 1905. Anyway. Alright, so we go to the outside, Joe Hendry finds a guitar. Then the Miz says, alright, I'm going to find a guitar of my own, but he opens the box, like this big box, you would think a guitar could fit in it, and it's a stinking ukulele. Tiptoe to the tulips. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my Tiny Tim impression. Anyway, so he finds a ukulele. That did nothing. And then Miz opens another present, and it's blue balls. He finds some blue balls, and freaking Joe Hendry takes the balls, boom, right into his head. That was funny. That's actually chuckling on that one. Blue balls. Miz can't get enough of that, man. He says it. Maurice says his balls are huge. They're not. Even though his super sperm somehow shot into her hair, popped out 2 beautiful baby girls, Madison and Monroe. I mean, hell, if I had Maurice, I wouldn't flaunt that I have big balls. I just flaunt I have a big dick. And I'm giving it to her on a nightly basis. Shit. But I digress. So a hip toss sends Miz into a Christmas tree. Ow. And it's time for a table with a bow on it. Why not? Miz gets pissed, stomps on the bow, followed by some elbows onto a present as we go to break. Come back. Joe Hendry hits that fallaway slam, then he does that stupid pose. And then another fallaway slam onto another Christmas tree. Damn. They go to the outside again. Akira Tozawa grabs a cookie. Put the cookie down! Yeah, Kelly Grace goes, put that cookie down. He didn't do it like Arnold, but, Hey, Tozawa, put the cookie down! Put it down now! Put the cookie down! Get to the chopper! Pretty much. And then he gets dropped by the Miz. Otis steals the Singapore candy cane. Joe Hendry hits the Miz in the balls with it. It kind of put it in between his ball sack and lift it up. And then everybody, including the Easter Bunny, goes inside. They hit all their finishers. So Joe Hendry hits eventually Joe Hendry hits the standing ovation. I'll get that in a minute. They hit their finishers. Otis then has his own cookie. He eats it because he's fat. This son of a bitch is fucking fat. Now I'll make him bleed, Mr. Joseph. I'll make him bleed. Okay, Scott, you calm down. Can you? Thank you. Hey, Scott, have a Snickers cookie. Why not? Good. Good. You want some milk with that? Good. You good? Good. Good. Anyway, he's fat! Oh, damn it, Scott. I hate you. Moving on. Alright, so where was I? Alright, so to hit their finishes, always has a cookie, eats it because he's fat. And then, the bunny is R-Truth. Oh, shocking! It's R-Truth. Like, you didn't know that was R-Truth from the beginning. Because you know how dumb he is to dress up as a bunny. It's not Easter yet, moron. Even though there is Easter candy out now in certain stores. I'm like, what? It's December the 27th as of this video. We got freaking, like, Costco has Easter candy out now. Well, in some stores I heard. In like, Connecticut, I heard. Like, it's not April, it's not Easter. We have freaking Cadbury bunnies and, chocolate things. And we have, Starburst candy and Starburst, jelly beans and shit. I mean, I used to work in retail. We don't see them until March. The freaking, Valentine's Day candy comes out in early January. And then pretty much after Valentine's Day, before Valentine's Day, the St. Patrick's Day cookies come out, and, have to put the display up and all that shit. And then, right after that, the Easter candy's right around the corner. And then after Easter, take that out, that goes on clearance. And then next thing you know, all the summertime stuff comes out. The pools, the fans, all the bullshit. And then by the time we hit September, the Halloween candy comes out. And then the Christmas stuff gets put out right before Christmas. I hated it. I'm like, February, the Easter candy comes out. It's February! And I had to unload the truck. I had to put all the candy down in the downstairs in the section where it should go. I'm like, this thing's gonna get stale in like 2 months. Shit. But, not that many people even bought that much candy. Halloween candy, yes, but Easter candy, not so much because, they don't buy a lot of candy for the kiddies and stuff like that, Pretty much I buy it for myself. But I digress. Anyway, so R-Truth hits the "You can't see me" by knuckle shovel. Like John Cena. Hey, kids! So then, Joe Hendry hits a guitar, like, not on the head, per se, like, in the side and the back. Puts Miz hits the Miz with that. Then he hits a standing ovation through the table. 1, 2, 3, Joe Hendry gets the win in a boring as fuck match. 11.5 minutes of garbage. And I gave the match 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Thank the Lord it was over. But, basically Miz is a nostalgia act now, and he's putting over the new talent. So when Trick Willie is going to go to Smackdown, Oba's probably going to Raw. So all the people that are going to Smackdown, maybe Raw, Miz is going to put over. I can't wait till Trick Willie beats the fuck out of the Miz. He's gonna talk his shit like, okay, what's up, ma, what'd you say? Miz should just go to NXT and put over everybody. At this point. Or just retire. But as long as he doesn't get in before Mikey Boy gets in. Mike Awesome, you know him. You said my name? Yes, Mike. Get in here for a second. Okay, go, hurry up, come on. Yeah, I was talking about The Miz, he's putting over talent and everything, and pretty soon he might be retiring, maybe going to the Hall of Fame. You better not go in before me! We're hoping. We got the petition already, dude. Please sign the petition, or just go on social media and, talk to WWE, tweet Hunter, tweet Stephanie, hi Steph, and basically tweet Hunter, Stephanie, Nick fucking Khan, and tweet them up the wazoo that Mike fucking Awesome should be in the Hall of Fame. He's done a lot, that guy. Multiple time ECW champion, US champion in WCW, the fat chick Driller, the man who killed that Japanese guy, we can't say his name. Don't say his name! Okay. But he was a force to be reckoned with, that guy, in ECW and in Japan, in FMW, mind you. You know what I'm talking about, right, Mike? You know. Well, I was a god back in Japan, even more than you, Terry. I was a hardcore champion in Japan. Shut up! We know! Mike, calm down. Respect your elders. It's okay, I'll kick his ass later. Shut up, Terry. Anyway. So, yeah. Mike Awesome needs to get in the Hall of Fame before the Miz. So, let's do it. Let's do it, right, Paul Stanley? Let's do it. Well, okay. Well, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, we got that. Moving on. Alright, we go in the back. We have Fraxium, Aiken, and Ben Frazier. They're talking to him, Carmelo Hayes in the back. And then the Tsar! The United States champion, Ilya Dragunov. He comes in, talks to Carmelo. He wants to talk to Carmelo alone, so Fraxium pretty much just leaves. Like, I'll talk to you later. So they leave, and Ilya talks about their chemistry last week when they beat DIY. And Dragunov says, you know what? We had so much good chemistry, and you know what? We had a match for my title, but it kind of ended like shit. Thanks to, who? Thanks to the Ciampa and company. So, he says the open challenge is now closed because you, Carmelo, get the final shot. So, Carmelo's like, well, you know me. When I shoot, I don't miss, and I'm not going to miss. We'll see. So expect another incoming banger with Ilya Dragunov. I think he has elevated that title so much. Really, Sami Zayn has, and then Ilya just took it to another level. Unlike certain other titles, like the Women's US title, the tag team titles on Raw, not SmackDown so much. But even though, the Wyatts have held them for so long, and I think it's time to give the MFTs the belt, but I don't know what's happening with that, but Women's Intercontinental title, Maxine's trying to do her best to elevate it a little bit, still hanging, that's fucking feud with Becky, but once Becky either gets it back or loses it, I think next week or on the anniversary show, who's next for Maxine at this point on the Raw roster that can actually beat her? I mean, I have a feeling Julia's going to get that Women's United States title back and actually get a proper run with it, not like the last one she had. I mean, she held it for like 170-something days, but we barely saw her in half of those days. They just booked her incorrectly. Now she's back, going after the belt that pretty much she kind of never lost, but still. I give her another shot, another run with the belt, but longer. Let her hold it for like a year. Or more, who knows. And that's that. Alright, so, So I gave Ilya and Carmelo Hayes 2.5 out of 5 stars for their segment, and that's it. Alright, then we see Papucho Drew McIntyre arrive. Won't say the stipulation for his match with Cody that he's picking, but for now, he's gonna go take a nap. I guess on his bus or in the locker room, I don't know. On a couch. So, I'll tell you later, I'm gonna go take a nap. Not that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we get a video for the never-ending feud between Papi Priest, Damian Priest, and Mr. Black, along with Mrs. Black, Selena Vega. Aleister Black swears to end the feud. We'll see. Whenever that next match happens, we'll see. Alright, so we got that. Alright, then we go to the back with the Smackdown Women's Champion, the lovely Jade Cargill, not happy with Mia Yim attacking her with a kendo stick last week. So Jade says, I don't need weapons because I am a weapon. Pretty much. She's the Storm. I heard a rumor that Jade is going to have a special entrance at WrestleMania 42. Can you say dresses up as Storm? From X-Men? Oh, that would be an epic entrance. Well, as long as she doesn't, like, come down from the ceiling or shit like that. We don't need another Owen Hart situation. I'll just have her come out from underneath, like from hell or something like that. Make it look nice. Or maybe like the lights go out and then like a lightning bolts come out or some shit. Not like the Undertaker's gonna come out and go boom, like, you know. But it's gonna be special. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's gonna be special. You're a special child. You know, stuff like that. So, get ready for that. But, so we get that. Then we go to BFAB. So doesn't want her bestie, Mia Yim, to get hurt by standing up for her. So Mia Yim thinks that Jade is worried. And we can use that to our advantage next week because they have a match next week. Whoa, joy. We get that. And we move on. Alright, so 2.25 out of 5 stars for both those promos. We move on. Alright, back inside the arena we go. More ladies action, because you gotta love the ladies. Alright, so we have Horseface Charlotte Flair with Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, by her side. She takes on Lash Legend, Kick Shit Gun, along with Nia Jax. Alright, this wasn't a bad match. Under 11 minutes. They fight over wrist control to start. Really doesn't go anywhere. Lash then powers Charlotte into the corner to actually start the fighting. Hits a big clothesline followed by one hell of an uppercut. Tiger! Uppercut. Charlotte gets in a kick to head. Tries a running Hurricanrana. Gets reversed into a power bomb. Very nice. As we go to break, come back. Lash holds Charlotte up. Bounces Charlotte's head like a freaking basketball in between the top and middle ropes. But Charlotte fights back. Tries the buckshot lariat. You're not Adam Page. Stop. She tries that, gets pump kicked down for a near fall. Even though there's a little bit of a mistiming, I think, with the ref. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. It was a pause. Anyway. Alright, then another power... Well, Lash tries another power bomb. Actually, she hit that. Looks to set up the Lash extension, her finisher. Charlotte reverses that into a DDT. Then it gets a moonsault for a near fall. Nia gets up for a distraction, earning a choke from Alexa Bliss. Like, she got up on her back and choked her, you know. And then Charlotte gets back up, and we get a sunset flip circa 1985, and that pins Lash in under 11 minutes. So, kind of a sloppy finish, but still, 2.25 out of 5 stars. Charlotte gets the win over Lash. What are you gonna do? Move on. Alright, then we go to Nicholas Aldis' office, and he has a very special guest, and that's Chick Winnie Shimon. Whoa, that trick! What? Whoa, that trick! Uh-huh. What? Oh yeah, man! Oh yeah, man! Trick Willie. Alright, former NXT TNA champion. He's in the office, asked if Smackdown is going to match an offer from Raw. I didn't even know he got one from Raw. He wasn't on the show. I mean, Javon Evans was on the show. He did pretty well. I still think he's going to Raw with Oba, and I think Trick Willie and maybe JCJ might go to SmackDown. And maybe Kaylani Jordan as well, because she is Mrs. Him. A whole lot of people are going to be coming up from NXT. Maybe Blake, well, I don't know about Blake Monroe, but, you know, NXT is going to look a lot different pretty much by, I think after Royal Rumble time. Going to look totally different. I think the only big star is going to be Tony D'Angelo, Blake Monroe for the women. Ricky Starks is going to come up to the main roster, I assume, or he's going to stay there. I think he's going to come up to the main roster, but I mean, NXT is going to look like the minor leagues, basically. It's like, who's the star here? Blake Monroe, the star of the women. Okay, we got that. And then for the men, Tony D'Angelo for the world title, and who's the North American champion? I don't know. Gonna look totally different by Mania and by Stun and Deliver. Gotta do the pose. Just can't say stand and deliver. Gotta say Stun and Deliver. We got that. Alright, so Trick's in the office and says, hey, what's your offer? Do you have a better offer than the one that Adam Pearce gave me? So before Nick can answer, Cody comes in, asking if Drew McIntyre has paid the fine yet, and apologized. Nick also says no, and then Trick Willie says, I don't like you interrupting me because I'm the hottest free agent around, and then they have a little stare down after that. Oh, I would love to see a Cody Trick match. I'd love to see that. Cody gets his butt handed to him. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, moving on. Alright, so I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we go to a video with Solo Mibuki and the MFTs, JC Mateo, the Grills of Destiny, the resident gremlin himself, Tamataga, yeah! And Tangaloa, Sayonara, sucker! And the big man, Kudio. Alright, they're there. And Solo is not wild on Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. Uncle Howdy hides behind a bunch of people wearing masks while Solo has created his own family. From the, not the remnants of the bloodline, but, still part of the bloodline. Then he says the fireflies are fading away and the lantern is burning low. And then we get a little rendition of he's got the whole world. Sing with me, children. In his hands, he's got the whole world. Sing it with me. In his hands, he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. Pretty much. But for you ladies, they got the whole world in my pants. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Put their hands down their pants, and I bet you feel nuts. Yes, I'm Cisco, yes, I'm Ebert, and you're getting 2 thumbs up. Yes, you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Get it horny now. Pretty much. Alright, so we got that. 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we get to the match of the night, ladies and gentlemen, for the United States title. That's Ilya Dragunov takes on him, Carmelo Hayes. This was epic. Match of the year candidate is amazing. So it starts off with Carmelo Hayes, with Melo chopping Ilya in the corner to start. That gets some rolling German suplexes Dragunov is known to do. Back up, running boot to face, sends Carmelo to the outside. Go to break, come right back. And then they go to Chop City, not Chop Suey, Chop City. And so Carmelo hits a springboard clothesline and a spinning face plant for a near fall. Kicks Dragunov down again. Dragunov comes back, goes up top, only to get kicked out of mid-air. Ow. but comes back with the Constantine special, dropping Melo, then a top rope back splash for a near fall. As we go to another break, come back, Ilya puts Melo up top, but gets shoved down. And then Melo tries for nothing but the bottom of the net. That gets kicked out of mid-air as both men are down. The fans going nuts. Ilya with a superplex on Melo. Hits the H-bomb, and I thought it was over. Like, oh, Melo's gonna lose. And Melo kicked out at 2.99999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999. What? He's like shook. I mean, everybody in the arena like, what? That was 3, ref. Then he puts Melo up top, trying for another superplex, but Melo reverses that into a super giddy kata. Bang! That was impressive. But it was a quick cutter too, mind you. It was like, what the hell was that? Hey, you blinked, you missed it. Shit. But, hey, Melo, stop stealing my moves. So he gets a very near fall of his own. They fight to the apron. Dragunov hits a Death Valley driver. Ow. On the apron, the hardest part of the ring. But he dives right into the first 48 because he tried for a coast-to-coast. And Melo dove and hit the code breaker. Oh, that was nice. Then he goes up top. The fans are sensing it, that Melo's gonna win the title. He goes up top, hits nothing but the bottom of the net. Bowman hits that, makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a new United States champion in Carmelo Hayes. He finally did it. Gets the big one. His first title on the main roster. Oh, I loved it. I know it was spoiled by a lot of people, you fuckers. I was not one of them. But it is what it is. Under 21 minutes of epicness. 4.25 out of 5 stars. Congrats to Melo. Lonnie. Kaylani is happy for her man, because she saw those pictures on Instagram. Good stuff. So, good match. Now, Melo starts his open challenge. I hope he holds the title for a long time. I know he's got a ton of challengers like Ciampa, Gargano, eventually Tama Tonga, because he was like hounding Ilya for a while. So we'll see what happens with that. But great match. And you gotta give it to Ilya Dragunov for the defenses he's had. Every match was a banger after banger after banger after banger. Just great stuff. And you gotta give it up to Sami Zayn, too, for elevating that title the way he did when he won it from Solo. Then he had the open challenge. He had epic matches. Then he lost to Ilya, who then took it to another level. And we'll see what happens with Melo if he can take that to another level. I mean, ginormous level. I think he could. So we'll see what happens next week on the program with Melo's first appearance as the new United States champion on a 3-hour Smackdown live show. We got that. That's a match of the year candidate right there. Alright, after the match, sportsmanship! Dragunov presents Carmelo with the title. He puts the title around his waist. Code of honor. You'll love to see it. That's that. Moving on. Alright, after that, we go to the back. We have Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, and Horseface Charlotte Flair. They're ready for the women's tag, to get the women's tag team titles off of my first and second amazingly hot Asian wives. Asuka. Nobody is ready for Asuka except my dick. And Kylie! Kylie Zane. I love them. I love my Asians, you know, Io, and the birthday girl today, Mina Shirakawa. By the way, Mina, thank you so much for retweeting and following me and liking my tweet. See? I'm popular! You're not! Fuckers. Unless you want me to show it, I'll show it. Not now, but anyway, a future video, maybe. We get that. Alright. So they run into, their name is Rio, and they dance upon my lap. And when they're done, they go and take a nap. Mommy Rhea Ripley, my brutality. And yo, Sky, my third amazingly hot Asian wife. Next to Mina, who is my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife. You gotta love it. Alright, so Riho comes in, and they say, we're gonna win the titles on January 5th on the Netflix premiere. Well, the 1 year anniversary, I should say. And then, Nia, Jax and Lance Legend come in and say, you think you're gonna overlook us? Looks like they're gonna have a fight. Nick Aldis and some referees and all the people come in. And then Asuka and Kylie come in, and Kylie's like, look, I got the belt. Kyrie looked like, she's like, oh, I'm the one with the belt here. I'm the champ. And then, Nick Aldis says, alright, you guys want to fight? We're going to have an 8-person tag team, 8-woman tag team match next week to kind of set up for the match with Rio and Asuka and Kyrie on the Netflix 1 year anniversary show on January the 5th. So next week should be pretty good. And that's it. And then, near the end, Mommy Rhea Ripley says something to Kyrie. She pulls her hair, and Kyrie's like, you son of a fuck! Don't you dare touch my woman's hair, Mommy Rhea Ripley. You get your nose broken again. Nobody touches her hair except me. Because I love her hair. I love Asuka's hair, too. Io's hair is great. I mean, they all got great hair. Among other things. Digress. Alright, we got that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright. Excuse me. Let me take a sip, because I'm about to lose my voice. I've lost my voice! By the way, I'm not moving in my chair. I don't have an itchy butt. And I do wash my ass. So next time, don't drink and don't smoke when you're talking about that shit. You're just inebriated and dumb. Thinking about that when you have no facts. So go fuck yourself, you dumb gimp. Or whatever. You dork. But keep watching me. Thanks for downloading my videos, asshole. That's all you got. All you got. You download my videos, making fun of my freaking intros and everything, or if I do a long rant about you dorks out there. But then you get mad when I do it like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minute, 15 minute intro, and then I get in the wrestling. I'm tired of this shit. You still watch, thank you. That's all you got. Think you can make fun of me with my intro, and then, it's like, oh, he's contradicting himself again with this and that, showing pictures of me drinking and everything. When I don't drink, I'm a social drinker. You think that's supposed to impress me and supposed to, get me triggered and shit? No. The whole cat, and then bring up the cat raping thing again. I mean, that has gone so far out the door, it's just, nobody cares at this point. Except for people that are like, oh, what's the Peter lore? And then they bring that shit up. I'm like, oh, you don't know nothing about me. Some of you new people, like, they go on these boring, stupid reaction channels. They're stupid. They're boring. 1, 2, sometimes 3 hour reaction videos. It's just dumb. But hey, if you want to get views off our name, well, you're welcome. Because without us, you're nothing. That's a fact. But we move on with that. So, clip that too. Because you got nothing. You got no rebuttal. I don't want to hear it. So, that's that. Alright, where are we? Carmelo Hayes thanks Ilya Dragunov for everything, including reminding Melo that he is him. So then, so Ilya leaves, and then Johnny Gargano from behind with the heinous act attacking Mello. It says, that title is mine. So probably Mello will be defending the belt next week against Johnny Gargano. So I guess, Mello's gonna go through Gargano. Ciampa's probably gonna go crazy asking for his shot that he really never got from Ilya. Mello gives it to him. He beats Ciampa, and then I would think if Mello did lose it, probably be the Tama Tonga at this point. Maybe by WrestleMania time, but I don't know. We'll see. That's that. Alright, so I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we go to a Stone Cold 316 match. Because it lasted Stone Cold's time, 316. Women's tag team match. We have the Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green, and the Sergeant at Arms, Alba Fire. They take on Kiana James, the resident accountant, looking good, as always, and even better, my girl, Julia. Not a great match, because it was like a filler match. That too, excuse me. So it's also with Chelsea Green and Kiana James shoving each other. That didn't go anywhere. Let's shove each other, let's shove our titties, and, stuff like that. And then Alba Fire comes in, and then Julia comes in, and Julia's like, me want Gertie over there. Meaning Chelsea Green. But she settles for swinging at, she swings at Alba Fire, which allows the hot tag to Chelsea Green, gets knocked in the corner, and pretty much Julia whipped the fuck out of her. Missile dropkick, hits Chelsea, and she sends Alba Fire to the outside. Johnny James did nothing in this match. It was like a handicap match almost. Anyway, and then Julia hits the Northern Lights bomb. 1, 2, 3, and 316. Stone Cold! Back out Stone Cold. Julia and Kiana James get the win, and a match I really didn't give 2 fucks about, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Like I said, filler match. That's that. Alright, then we go to Nick Aldis' office with one half of the Yes Boys, and that's Kit Wilson. Looks totally different. Looks like somebody out of Final Fantasy 15 or 16. I was like, damn. Okay, anyway, he's in the office. He wants to showcase his new version of what? Well, he's got nothing to do because Elton Strong, still injured. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't even know what injury he has. I think it's his shoulder again or his leg. I don't know what it is. But right now, the Yes Boys are pretty much... I think it was a waste to bring them up on Smackdown. It was a waste. Because now, Kit Wilson's basically doing nothing. He should go back to NXT. Just do something there. And then maybe wait for Elton Prince to come back. Then go back to NXT, win the tag team belts. I think you should just go back to NXT. What are you going to do with them when Elton Prince comes back? Go for the tag titles and lose? At this point, I'm just like, get rid of them. Release the Yes Boys. Let them go to Ring of Honor. Yeah, let them go to Ring of Honor. You know why? Because I would love to see the Yes Boys taking on the Grizzled Young Veterans in the Battle of the UK. I think we've seen that before in NXT UK. Well, I'd love to see that again. But this time in Ring of Honor, maybe if Tony Khan booked them correctly over the Ring of Honor tag team belts. I would love to see that. And I think if they go to Ring of Honor, I know Tony Khan will elevate them, not make them jobbers like Gibson and Great Car. I mean, they have a few wins in Ring of Honor, not many, but because I think Drake has a match on this. Well, he had a match this tonight on Ring of Honor TV. I forgot against who, but did he win? Probably not. But at least they're doing something with Gibson and Drake, but not much, Not much, not very big feuds per se, but I think Drake. I think Drake takes on Eddie Kingston. Oh, jeez. Eddie's gonna kill that guy. I mean, literally. Sucks to be you there, Mr. Drake. And I'm not talking about the guy from Toronto. Oh, that horrible rapper. At least he's better than Kendrick. Ooh. I think anybody's better than Kendrick. Hey, Snoop Dogg had a better performance at the halftime show for Christmas than Kendrick did at the Super Bowl. That's saying something. Even though it was Snoop Dogg and I think Meghan Trainor and a couple other people that I didn't even recognize, I couldn't tell. But you know, more people would talk about Snoop Dogg's performance than Kendrick. And Bad Bunny, when he does the Super Bowl coming up in about 2 months from now, about a little over 2 months, you know that's going to get a lot of ratings. I mean, a lot. That's going to surpass that schmuck Kendrick Lamar's. Going to shatter it. Because Kendrick is crap. Bad Bunny is way better. I don't understand. Well, you're going to look at it anyway. Beep, 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 beep. He's going to sing that. I know he's going to sing that. Maybe. Jambe! Allah! Something like that. I don't know the lyrics. I'm sorry. I know Issa's going to kill me now, but I don't care. I'm sorry! I don't know a lot of the lyrics. I'm sorry. I'm not Espanol. I don't understand a lot of the words. I'm trying to. You know, because I got the wifey that can translate for me. Shit. And she likes Bad Bunny too, so. Not because of Issa, just because she's, you know, Mexican. You know, he's Puerto Rican, but she likes his music. We both love Selena. She's Mexican. Bitty bitty bum bum. Okay. I could fall in love with you. Okay, not this. But that's the English version of the songs I love. I love that song, like Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. I Could Fall in Love with You Again. Dreaming of You. Oh. If it wasn't for that dumb fat cunt that shot her in the back because she was I'm so jealous of her stardom, I bet you nothing Selena would have been a way bigger star. There wouldn't be no movie. Jennifer Lopez's career would have went nowhere. Her singing career, I mean. Not her acting career. Her singing career would have went nowhere. And who knows what would happen with Selena in the 90s. I think she could have really done a number on the charts. It's just what happens when you have an obsessed fan that is like, I'm going to be the president of your fan club. And turns on him and shoots the hottest thing in music right in the back. Stupid. Like the same thing with freaking Kurt Cobain. He was the hottest thing in music, in grunge pretty much. And then he couldn't deal with the fame, shot himself blew his brains out. Even though there's rumors that Courtney Love did it. And look where her career went. After he died, her career went bye-bye. I don't even think Hole is even around anymore. Because I really don't think Courtney Love's doing any music. I haven't heard anything lately. I think she's just somewhere. Hole's in a hole, basically. I mean, they were a good band. A couple good albums here and there, but, you know. But then, when Courtney started with her drugs and alcohol shit, I'm like, oh, fuck this bitch, you know. Back in the late 90s, when she had a little feud with Madonna. And she just acted weird on the MTV Movie Awards when Jim Carrey dressed up as Jim Morrison, basically. There's a lot of pussy in this room tonight. Go get some fog hat. You know, not the F word. Fog hat. That's a band. Slow ride, take it easy. That band. That's the song from Foghat. How do I know that? Because I'm a DJ. I know more music than you, so I don't have to debate you on it, so kiss my ass. I know better music that's way better than yours. K-pop, metal, pretty much any genre of metal is better than your garbage that you listen to. Even pop music is better than your garbage mumble rap. Alright, anyway. So Kit Wilson, basically, he comes in, wants to showcase his new version. Then Cody comes in, asks referee Dan Engler if Drew apologized to him yet. He hasn't. But then we hear his music play, and then Cody looks at the TV, and we see Drew coming out to the ring for a kitty cat. And then Nick Aldis and Dan Engler pretty much go out with Cody to greet Mr. Drew McIntyre. So we got that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we get a video for the man who's going to be on the Smackdown roster pretty soon. Or maybe the Raw roster. And that's the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, the man from Wakanda, the ruler, the destroyer, who, the bringer of war, who, and that's Oba, who, Femi. So, we'll be seeing him probably by the Royal Rumble, because he is in the Rumble from what the new leaked Royal Rumble card looks like now. Oba is going to be number 2, supposedly. I don't know if this is going to... Well, from the leaked one I saw, Logan Paul starts off at number 1, Oba at number 2, Shinsuke Nakamura at number 3, and it's going to come down to Sami Zayn and Roman in the final 2. Roman throws Sami Zayn out like yesterday's garbage. Roman wins the match, and he will face probably Cody at Mania. And as far as Braun Breaker goes, he'll probably enter the Elimination Chamber, win the Elimination Chamber, go on to face CM Punk at Mania for the belt. He wins that. And Roman beats Cody in their final match in their trilogy. And there you go. Roman will be the champion after night 2 of WrestleMania. Barring some unforeseen thing. So, Roman will win. I think Cody will turn heel. Not that anybody cares. Roman will go on a nice long reign until 2030. We wish, right? But actually, we don't. Well, Issa wishes. I would like for him to go on another 3.5 year run just to finish his career. But they're saying he's gonna, if he wins the title, it's gonna be a short reign because he's gonna transition into Hollywood. He's gonna be like John Cena, and we'll barely see him, you know. But we'll always acknowledge, put up your ones, and do it right now. Acknowledge Roman Reigns as your tribal chief every day. It's like when you wake up, you say your prayers, you acknowledge God Almighty, and you also gotta acknowledge Roman. That's what I do every day. Twice on Sunday. Alright, so Oba is coming to the main roster pretty damn soon. Can't wait for that. I think he's doing very well on the main roster. Alright, then we go to the final segment. We have Drew in the ring. If I can get my notes to come back. Alright. Before we get that, we get a look at what's coming next week on the 3-hour show from Buffalo, New York, Gene. That's that. Alright, so Drew's in the ring. If I can get my notes to come back. They go up, they go down, up, down, like a dick in your mom's ass, but that's that. So Drew comes out, talks some shit. And then Nick Aldis and Dan Engler, and eventually Cody come out. Okay. So Aldis Drew hands the check with the amount of the fine to Nick Aldis. Seems to be enough. Probably like $10,000, some shit like that. And then Drew goes to Dan Angler and he apologizes for the Claymore kick. Dan Angler accepts the apology, but Drew apologizes for Angler clearly wanting to be a wrestler but not being good enough at it. Damn. And then Drew apologizes to Angler's wife for not having a husband like him, and to Angler's kids for having a corporate stooge for a father. Damn! Drew, take it easy! Are you so crazy? Take it easy! Take it easy! Chiquito! Drew, jeez! Daddy, chill! Anyway, so Cody comes out after that. Drew says, I know you want to hurt me, Cody. You know, so he's trying to go, like, come on, Cody, come on, hit me, come on, hit me so you can give me the title. Strip over the title, give it to Drew McIntyre. He tries to goad him, brings up Brandy and his kid. Well, kids, because I think Brandy's gonna have baby number 2 pretty soon. So Cody's trying to get the Drew. Nick Aldis is being a little bitch and holding him back. So Drew's like, hey, Cody, do you want to know what the stipulation is? And Cody's like, yeah, and he's hitting himself like, come on, tell me. So Drew says the title match will be outside the United States in Germany, in Berlin, Germany, at Bash in Berlin. Not a pay-per-view this year. Coming on a live Smackdown. Live Smackdown, but here in the States it's VPN. So, if you don't have a VPN, you're fucked. You're gonna have to wait till 8 o'clock that night to watch it on a tape delay. For me, I get to watch it at probably like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. On my VPN, on my trusty computer. So, I'll get to know the results before you do! So if I put up any spoilers on Twitter, don't read it. But there'll be spoilers up by like 5 o'clock in the morning. Probably like 5 o'clock in the evening, so. So by the time we see Smackdown on January the 9th, all the spoilers will be out. Same thing with Raw. Over the the rest of the month, basically, we're getting spoilers up the wazoo. So if you don't want to see it, then get a VPN, see it live on Netflix with a VPN, like I do. And you can get to watch it at whatever time it's live. But if you don't have a VPN, you're going to have to wait till regular scheduled time and watch it on tape delay. But at least with Netflix, you don't get commercials, so that's the one thing. For you guys who have the advantage. So, we get that. Anyway. So Drew says the title match will be at Bash in Berlin, January the 9th. And it's going to be well, we haven't seen this match in a long time. 3 Stages of Hell! Which basically is a regular match, a no DQ match, and if needed, a cage match. Cody agrees immediately, because he's an idiot. And then, so then Drew's like, oh, Cody, one more thing. Since we're going to hell, say hi to your dad for me. Ooh, he went there. He said hi to Dusty in hell. Come on, dude. That's a little bit excessive. So Cody's all ready to fight, but it gets Claymore to end the show. No countdown. He just kicked him right in the face. It was good until he, mentioned Dusty. I did not like that at all. I like Drew. I love his promos. He gets a little bit personal, y'all, but I think that went a little bit under the balls. You know what I mean? You do so good, and you went, that little jab. I don't think that was needed. I know he was trying to get over as a monster heel, but I don't think he needed to say anything bad about Dusty Rhodes or anything. Did you see Roman do that? No, not really. All Roman said was, basically that Dusty thought of him as his son, not like Cody was. I loved you as a son, Roman, not like my son, Cody. Cody didn't like the bacon baby. Pretty much, you know. And then Cody's crying like a little bitch, and then he cuts a passionate promo after, you talked about my dad, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know, Cody was smart, which he's not. He could have went after Roman's, you know, he could have went after Alpha and Sika. And the whole Samoan lineage, and really made Roman mad, but he, you know, he's stupid, so he didn't. He could have done it at WrestleMania, the build to WrestleMania 39, the build to WrestleMania 40, even at the kickoff show, said nothing about Roman's family. The Rock kind of just did that for him. That's that. We'll see what happens with that. I have a feeling if we do see The Rock again, if he does show up at WrestleMania 42, I would love for Roman to win the title, and then we hear, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, everybody's like, what? Do we get WrestleMania 43, Rock Roman for the title? But not in Saudi Arabia. I would not do that in Saudi Arabia. That shithole. I know the Saudi prince was like, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, I give you blood money and then we ride the camel. We have a squishy. Please come to our country and you'll find Roman for the title of WrestleMania. If I'm freaking Rock, I'm like, I'm not going there. It's like, I want to fight in the States at WrestleMania 44. Whether that be in Tennessee or wherever it's going to be. Madison Square Garden, MetLife Stadium, I don't care. Preferably, I would have WrestleMania in a warm state like Arizona, California, or maybe in a dome like in Minnesota. Like, you know, they could do it in Minnesota. Which I thought they were going to do this year, or what they should have done in New Orleans. But that didn't happen because I went to Vegas that year. Well, actually, they were supposed to do it in New Orleans this coming WrestleMania, but it's like, nope, we're going to do it in Vegas again. It was so good, we'll do it again. So we're getting like a WrestleMania 4 and 5 type thing, because it was in New Jersey for those 2 years. Now we're getting it again, but this time in Vegas. And then next year's in Saudi Arabia, which is going to start like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the States, in New York. Nobody's going to go, except unless you're from like the UK or from Germany. I mean, it's going to be a lot of Saudi Arabia people there, that's obvious. But in that big stadium, I don't know how many people that holds, but you know, there's going to be people from around the world coming to Saudi Arabia for pretty much that whole week for Raw, Smackdown, the Hall of Fame, shit like that. But if it goes off and it's good, I think most of us will probably have egg on our face because I really think that WrestleMania 43 is going to suck. And it's not even out yet. We're like basically 2 years away. But once WrestleMania 44 comes back, hopefully to the States, or it goes to Puerto Rico, or it goes to England. Speaking of Puerto Rico, Issa's happy because Backlash is coming back 3 years later, because we saw it in May of 2023. Now it's coming back again in May, early May. I think it's May the 9th in Puerto Rico. That's going to be epic. Smackdown, and then Backlash, and then probably Raw in Puerto Rico. Oh, Risa will not have a voice after that. But she'll give us some great interviews. I wish I was going there, man. I would love to go to Puerto Rico, not just to visit Issa, but to go see WWC, maybe, just maybe, go to see WrestleMania, or Backlash, or PLE. As long as, I get the tour of the city and everything. I'm not just going to go and when I'm like, how am I gonna get around here? I don't have a car. I gotta pay for a freaking cab to take me to wherever I need to go. Like, I want to go to the beach. I want to go visit, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I want to visit Bayamon. I want to visit, places I never heard of in Puerto Rico. I want to go see WWC. I want to meet Savant and, Eddie Galon and all those great men and women of WWC. I want to see it. For myself. And maybe on an off chance I hang out with Issa for a day. Me and the missus, maybe. Well, just me, myself. But, meet Issa, maybe little Roman. As long as he doesn't bite my balls or whatever. He probably will, because, he's crazy. He's a good dog. The tribal pup. But, maybe one day I'll go, if I win the lottery. But, and I don't even need a passport because it's an actual state. It's in the United States territories. I don't think I need a passport. I'll bring it anyway, but I don't think I need one because it's a state, technically. But yeah, it's a long trip from New York down to Puerto Rico. I think I have to either I get a connecting flight in Orlando. So what I could do, I have family in Orlando. I could go visit them for a little while, and then or just go to Orlando and then get my connecting flight to Puerto Rico, and then I'll get the same way back. But I'll only stay in Puerto Rico for probably like the weekend or a week, just to hang out for WrestleMania purposes. Go to the Hall of Fame, go to Smackdown, go to Raw, just hang out. Not that I'm going to get VIP treatment like Issa would, but at least I'll be in the building. Maybe I'll just try to get a press pass and just say, "Oh, I'm Peter from the prophecy.com or some shit." I don't know. I'll make something up. Hey, if other people that Issa knows, well, I'm not gonna, other people that Issa knows can get it, you can too. But it's kind of hard to get, press passes, because they're not gonna take any schmuck off YouTube, But you never know. Maybe I can just get a press pass and say I'm from soandso.com, or make my own I make up a freaking say I'm from YouTube, but I'm doing it for YouTube purposes and a podcast or whatever, or the the Prophecy podcast. They don't know if it's up or not. But whatever it may be. But if it ever happened, I get a press pass. Yeah, I'm going now. I'll go there. If I go down there, I'll get. They have to pay if they pay for my airfare and food and everything. Or maybe I'll just bring my own money for food and stuff. Just hang out. Do my interviews. Maybe I doubt I'll get like people like Roman or something like that. Whoever is on the and where you go to the interviews for the kids or whatever, and you get like 5 minutes with like Bianca Belair, or you get 5 minutes with Seth Rollins. That's the best 5 minutes I'll have in my life. I'm like, shit. Just bring a tripod or get someone to hold the camera for 5 minutes. Make sure everything's good, and then everything's good. Tape it, boom, boom, ask your questions, get out. But most of the questions people already asked, I'm like, shit, now I gotta stand there like, what fucking question can I ask now? That's the hard part of being a journalist. And even when you go to the press conference, most of the questions are people asking the same questions you want to ask. Then you have stupid people asking stupid clown questions. Especially the one that asked EO, was like, would you like to fight Taylor Swift? And EO's like, are you crazy? If I was there, I'm like, what kind of question is that, idiot? Get this guy out. I was like showing WhatsApp with some, idiot. Like Dave Meltzer. Like, why don't you get out of here, Dave? Shut up, idiot. Like, have Roman kick him out or something like that. Or EO kick him out. I'm like, really? You're gonna ask that question? I was like, really? You're asking EO a dumb question like that? Where's your credentials? Should be banned from all the press conferences. Right, JD? Dumb fuck. But I digress. And we move on with that. Alright, so that ends SmackDown. But yeah, Backlash is happening in Puerto Rico in the beginning of May. It's gonna be epic. And Issa's gonna have a ball. In San Juan, Puerto Rico! As the Usos would say back in the day. And maybe it gets Bad Bunny again. Maybe, you never know. You get Bad Bunny, maybe Savio Vega shows up. I doubt they get Carlito to come back. You know, maybe the LWO kind of reunites with Ray and Dragon Lee. Not Zelina, because she's going to probably be healed by then. Who knows? But, you know, you get Ray, you get Dragon Lee. Dom will be there, obviously. Not part of the LWO, but just saying he'll be there. But you could have a lot of people there. It's going to be an amazing show in that Coliseum, basically, in that arena. I think it's the same one that they're using for, that they used for 2023's version of Backlash. Which I think is, like, right near where Issa lives. So it's like, right, she goes right out the door, she's at the arena. Shit. I wish I lived near the arena. I live near 2 bars, like 5 minutes away from me. Shit. When I go to my concerts and everything, most of them are right near me, but others are in New York City, so all I have to do is take hop, skip, and jump on the bus and the train. I'm in New York City in like 45 minutes to an hour. But other ones that are kind of local, I go and I come right back. Like, I'm home in like 15, 20 minutes. But that's that. I have a concert coming up on the 10th, but that's in New York City, so weather permitting, of course, because you know how the fucking snow is. It's still snowing. I don't know how much is out now, but it's still snowing. It's gonna be snowing for another pretty much ending in the next couple hours. I think a salt truck's coming out. So, it's going to be a slick morning commute if you're going out tomorrow. Be safe on the roads if you're going out on foot. Wear layers, wear the boots. When you're clearing out your driveway or clearing out your walkway, whatever you're doing. Just be safe. It's going to be not going to be too cold tomorrow. But still, you're not going to get much melting. So, throughout the snow melt. And let it melt, but then it's gonna refreeze. And then pretty much Sunday to Monday it gets warmer, like 51, 52 degree weather, but that 51 is coming like overnight into the morning on Monday and then drop fast. So whatever does melt, it'll refreeze again. But at least before we get to the end of the year and going into the first 3 days of 2026, it's going to be around 30 degrees, so we're going to get a little bit of melting, not much. But whatever we do get probably won't melt from at least a month. At least maybe a couple weeks until we get the next storm. Hopefully that one will be small, not too much snow, like an inch or two. Because that'll go away like nothing. But if you get like a blizzard, we get like a foot or two of snow, by the time it's Easter, all the snow will be gone. We got baseball coming up in 2 months, basically. Not 2 months, 3 months. So, Citi Field and Skanky Stadium could be, pain in the ass. Get all the snow on the outfield and the infield and all that shit. So, not the first time we've had snow during opening day. Remember that when the Yankees played in a blizzard, basically, against the Twins. I thought that game would have been canceled, but they were playing in the fucking snow. I'm like, how do you do that? And why did you do it? You're hurt. You run the risk of hurting a lot of players. The freaking fans are in, cold as fuck in there. I'm like, why are we playing? This ain't football! I mean, football people could do that. But baseball? No. Hockey you can do because it's outside. You can do in the Winter Classic and shit. It could be snowing. I mean, it might mess up the ice a little bit. Make it more slick. But just baseball and in pretty much the end of March, early April, when it still could be some snow, depending on where you live, even here in the New York City area. In Minnesota, too. Because it snows like pretty much all year, except for, the summer. Pretty much from June to, like, September, that's it. Minnesota has great weather, but then, like, October, November hits, the cold weather comes, and, it's snowing. It's snowing, like, by Halloween. Crazy up there. Especially living in International Falls, when the high temperature is, like, minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit. With a wind chill of minus 100. I mean, you're cold. It's like you're like living in an igloo in International Falls, Minnesota, Michigan, whatever it is. Alright, I ain't living there. What kind of idiot would live there? Unless you're an Eskimo. It's like, I'm not living there, but I live in Alaska. That's worse. Or you live near the Arctic Circle or, the North Pole and shit. You're like Santa Claus. Oh, it's cold out here. Hey, it's better than living in Antarctica with the penguins and shit. Or any place north of the equator or south of the equator, really south of the equator. South Pole, even. Crazy. And even if you live on the other side of the world, where if you live in Australia, pretty much it's summer right now. You're at a beach in like 100-degree weather down in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, some shit. And poor us, we're like 20 degrees and snowing. Crazy. But then once we hit June and it's summer here, it's freaking freezing and snowy and I don't know if it snows in Australia, but it gets cold there, I would assume, in the wintertime. Same thing, I would assume the same thing in Japan. I'm not sure on that, but it's just, you live across from the international date line, and I think south of the equator, you get pretty much winter and summer, and then north, you get winter, whatever season it is. Crazy. Alright, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to bed because I gotta get up in the morning and shovel the snow. Not that I'm doing anything this weekend anyway. So anyway, thanks for watching. And I gave Smackdown, I gave 7 out of 10 stars. Normal, good show. Ilya and Mello, mwah, great match. Match of the year candidate in my eyes. And that's that. So tomorrow, we will talk about TNA Ring of Honor. We will do World's End predictions. Get you ready for the big pay-per-view, the final pay-per-view of the year. And on Sunday afternoon, because the Niners play at night at 8, so I will do my World's End review on Sunday afternoon during football. We'll get you doing the Giants-Jet game. Not that I care about it, but I'll do the review then, and then pretty much I will save my voice for the Niner game, and then after the Niner game on Sunday night football, after Sunday Night Football, right on the Peter Joseph channel, do a little quick mini 3-minute video, a little short, about the Niners game against the Bears in Santa Clara at Levi. Big game, Niners win, Seahawks lose, Niners get the number 1 seed, then pretty much they control their own destiny in week 18, they beat the Seahawks, they get the number 1 seed no matter what the Rams do. And the Rams got 2 easy games coming up. Got the Cardinals, and they got the Atlanta Falcons. So, and Seattle got they got the Carolina Panthers, then the Niners. That's that. Eagles can get the number 1 pick if I think if the Niners and the Seahawks lose out. But the Niners really can't go lower than number 6. So if they lose on Sunday and the Rams win, they'll get the number 6 seed. Then maybe if they beat Seattle and the Rams lose, they probably get the number 5 seed. And since the Rams and Seahawks will be one game up, I think the Seahawks get the number 1 pick. A number 1 seed, I should say. So it's going to come down to pretty much this week and definitely next week to see who gets the number 1 seed in home field, where the Niners play, whether it be at Levi in 2 weeks, or they play on the road after week 18. So, the 10th through the 11th. I hope not the 10th, but we shall see what happens with all that. But, depends on who they play. If they play Philly, I think they'll probably put that game on Saturday afternoon or probably Saturday night. I would put it on Sunday, so I can watch, so I don't have to, because I do have to go to the concert. I really don't want to go to the concert and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the Niner games at the same time. When I'm off stage and shit, I'm like, shh, fuck. I gotta do the freaking audio and I got the freaking phone like right on the board and everything. I've done it before. I gone to wrestling shows when the Niners were playing against the Seahawks at one year. But at least the game ended before the wrestling show started, or maybe the pre-show started and the Niner game was pretty much ending. So I was like, good. Now I can watch the replay on the DVR. But that's that. All right, I talked way more than enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, peace out, rock on and rock hard with your cocoot. And if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. And that's it. Until tomorrow, my friends. Peace.